Hello there, and welcome to the first edition of Mr. Moore's Low Carb Hijinks. I'm your merry full host here, Mr. Moore, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. Before last year, I was on a very high carb diet and getting kind of pudgy, roly-poly, whatever you choose to call it. And since then, thanks to a school contest, a Biggest Loser contest. And I'm not talking about who had the fewest dates in high school. No, I'm talking about Biggest Loser of pounds here. So we had that contest at school, and ever since then, I've been living for the most part, pretty low carb existence. And as a result, I've been trying out a lot of different recipes, and I want to share them with my wonderful public. So the first thing we're going to talk about today the recipe we're going to talk about today is broccoli salad. Now, I know some of you have probably seen broccoli salad at your local deli, the supermarket deli, and they're pretty good. And the only problem is that they tend to be pretty loaded with sugar, which, of course, is, ta-da, high carb. We don't want that. So we have a few basic ingredients here to get started with our broccoli salad. It's going to be really basic here. Of course, the first ingredient is going to be broccoli. Now, you can always just get a raw head of broccoli and chop it up yourself. That is fine. Just for convenience sake today, I bought a ready-cut bag of broccoli. I'm going to pour some of it into this bowl here. Probably not the whole. Let's see if we can get the whole bag. Okay, well, that's pretty good there. All right, not the whole bag, so we have enough for later. Now, I also want to go through and make sure that there's no huge pieces, because one of the things about eating a broccoli salad is you don't want to if you get a huge clump of broccoli in there, it can be kind of hard to chew. But this bag looks like it was pretty well prepared, so I don't have to do too much with this. All right, now, the second ingredient is going to be the dressing. Now, this is a dressing that I created last year, and of course, getting ideas from other people. It's like a basic coleslaw dressing, as a matter of fact. Now, the prime ingredient in this is going to be mayonnaise. Now, we have a choice here. Now, ever since I started the low carb lifestyle, I also started trying to get a few other healthy things in my diet. And I switched from regular mayo with the soybean oil to avocado oil mayo, which is a little bit healthier. Now, this is the craft edition, which is fine. And the only problem with the craft edition is that it has a few other oils in it, so it's not purely avocado oil mayo. What I like to do, ever since I got my wife this wonderful immersion blender for Christmas, is we've learned how to make our own mayo. Just got a regular jar, some avocado mayo, some eggs, lemon juice, salt and pepper, and a little bit of brown mustard, and ta-da, it makes for a good homemade mayo. I personally like the taste. It tastes a little bit different from the store-bought, of course. And the only other problem with having a homemade mayo is it'll only last you about a week and a half to 2 weeks. So if you're gonna make homemade mayo, be prepared to use it right away. Okay, so now for the advisories. So let me put about a cup of mayo in here. It's also a little bit more gloppy than your average mayo. You know why? Because there's no real preservatives in there. Yeah, the side there. Okay. And a little bit, one more scoopful, and we should be done. Okay. All right. Good. So you're gonna pour it in here. Now, notice we're not a very fancy household around here. We don't have these ramekins like the professional cooking shows do. We just have some good old household implements. Rubbermaid it all the way as far as I'm concerned for storage containers. Okay, so we have the mayo. I'm gonna pour just a tad of apple cider vinegar with the mother. I don't know whose mother it is, but that doesn't make any difference. Just a little splash of it in there, not too much. And now, remember I was talking about low carb before, as I'm going to be all the time. This is not sugar. A lot of people would use sugar. Now, this is not regular sugar. This is monk fruit sweetener. I find it at some of the health food stores that usually sell by the pound for a pretty reasonable price. And just put a little, just sprinkle a little bit in there. There we go. That's about good. And we'll stir it up. Make sure all that apple cider vinegar is dissolved. And this dressing is also good for making coleslaw or any other mayonnaise recipe you can think of. For those of you who like potato salad, this is kind of a lower carb option, even though the potatoes are not. And I used to actually make a cauliflower salad. Cauliflower is a little bit rougher than broccoli, as broccoli is a little bit softer on the mouth and a little bit more pleasant to chew. So, and it's still crunchy, which is still pleasant. Okay, so back to the salad. A couple other basic ingredients I'm going to add to this. We have here just some diced yellow onions. You want to dice them yourself, knock yourself out. I just tend to have sit right here. I love my onions, so I'm not shy. Okay. And now another ingredient a lot of people know is in broccoli salads is raisins. Some people use craisins in those. I prefer not to, simply because being low carb, it's not. They're pretty high sugar, and I'm trying to avoid that in these. So, but as a substitute and providing a nice little bit of texture to it, I have here some raw organic pepitas, shelled pumpkin seeds. Very pleasant on the palate, has a good flavor, and adds some character to the broccoli salad. And I'm not shy about these either, so pour a whole bunch in there. Okay, now, of course, what recipe is complete with just a little bit of salt and pepper. Just to give it some personality. There we go. All right, now it's time to sauce this up. Now the dressing in here. That's about good. Okay, let's start stirring. Make sure all the broccoli pieces stay in there. Thank you. Get coated. And of course, now you want to try out this recipe. I'm sure there's lots of variations. You want to add a little bit of spice to it. You can always add a little bit of horseradish if you like. A little spiciness. Hey, maybe some cayenne or whatever suits your fancy. And this is a great side for any picnic or barbecue, or hey, I take a little container of this to lunch at work when I have some available. And as you can see, the salad was really easy to make and took just about a few minutes. So voila, broccoli salad, low carb style. Yummy. All right. So thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for my next edition coming soon.